So my first comment is there's an S on the end of Eades, but sorry about that. Okay, so this is all about me in 5 minutes. I'll start at the beginning, go as quick as I can. Now, this may come as a surprise some of you, but I wasn't actually born in New Zealand. In fact, I know you couldn't tell, but in fact, no, I grew up in Brighton on the south coast of England, a town some of you may know and most of you will know of. My parents were Sallies, so as a result, at a young age, I played in the Salvation Army band, and that's where I think I gained my love of music, but possibly not where I got my love of good whiskey. Now, after studying IT, or computer science it was then known at college, I decided to enrol in VSO. That's the UK equivalent of voluntary service abroad, or overseas it's known in the UK. And I was very fortunate to be posted to Fiji for 2 years. Fiji's a great place for a young guy to be. So, as well as my VSO type job, which was implementing the Fiji government's first ever stock control system, I managed to play a season of Fiji rugby. I spent a lot of time snorkeling out on the reefs, and if you've been to Fiji, I'm sure you know how good that is. And when I left, after 2 years, I'd acquired a Fijian wife. So I returned to Brighton with my new wife, but we decided basically New Zealand would be a much better place to live, especially with Fijian connections. So early in 1975, I arrived in Wellington to work in the Government Computer Centre. And after, also in 1978, I was the proud owner of a piece of paper that declared I'm a Kiwi. And I own my all-black shirt and all that sort of stuff. And after 5 years, and with a new daughter, we decided that whilst life in New Zealand was good, it was time to do more travelling. So we left with a plan to do a couple of years of OE. And of course, as these things turned out, it took me about 13 years to get back, which include 3 years working in Lagos in Nigeria, which is another story, during which time my family grew, by the way, with the addition of a new son. And later 9 years as a managing partner in the UK software house. Eventually, though, we returned back to New Zealand and settled in Kapiti, where I might still have been had not a sudden tragedy completely changed my life's direction. Shortly after our 36th wedding anniversary, my wife, my granddaughter and a cousin all died in a road accident. I certainly don't want to dwell on that, but what I firmly believe is the only way you can handle a bad situation, and obviously for me it couldn't be much worse, is to do whatever you can to make something good come out of it. And we found good things in a couple of ways. The first thing was, my family, friends and I adopted a charity called Children of Fiji over there. It's a very small charity. As you can tell by the logo, they don't spell much on marketing. They're run by this quite amazing couple, who I now know very well, who live in Dorset in England, and they were collecting money locally, travelled to Fiji a couple of times a year and spent whatever they collected on Fijian children's charities. One of the things that attracted me to them was the fact that when I looked at their accounts, they spend over 90% of the money they collect on actual projects, and not many charities will be able to say that. So we adopted them, and we started fundraising. So my family and I started fundraising. One of the many things we did, I'll come back. We said to them, slightly lost my track here, what would you like us to do? And they said, well, how about building a kindergarten? So we set about raising funds to build a kindergarten in a particularly remote area of Fiji, the very western tip of Kandavo Island. Probably most of you have not been to Kandavo. It's not where you go if you're a Fijian tourist. Magnificent, beautiful island. And so we set about to see if we could raise enough, and I did that. I just missed a slide. I thought I had a slide of my children running a marathon, the Brighton Marathon, which is one of the main things that we did, and many other types of fundraising. But I was privileged enough to go to the village and actually open the kindergarten. The kindergarten itself is this little building with the yellow roof. And it's a nice picture of the village green. Particularly admired the rugby posts, which are a feature of any Fijian village, of course. It was a great party opening this. As the local children putting on, and the adults as well, everybody put on various Fijian dances and I had to make a speech in Fijian, which wasn't too easy. And then I actually got to open the kindergarten, which was a seriously wonderful feeling. And that's myself, my son, and the two people that run the charity. So, the celebrations were good. It was just a wonderful cathartic feeling to be able to achieve something as good as that, and was appreciated as much as that in a small village. But as I mentioned before, that wasn't the only good thing that happened. Because a few years back, after moving into Wellington, I caught up with an old friend. And we decided it'd be a good idea if we should go out to dinner and maybe catch an opera together. And sorry, I missed out that slide first. I'll come back to that. That's the kids enjoying the slides and swings of the kindergarten. But as I say, I caught up with an old friend. We decided we'd go and catch an opera together and have dinner, and the rest is history, and that's how come I'm a member of Wellington Rotary.